Ojo upon Nkrumah. Good morning.
Morning. I'm quite saying.
Adum now as well.
Oh, Yamadum here.
Yeda Okroponse. Yatisa no pe mushia. Modru parliament ana.
Memo de Nkrumah. Usually at the beginning of every meeting, and I recall Thursday in the year meeting to plot our strategy for the recall.
Okay.
And Afina me babido.
Oh, okay. But first of all, what the allegations against the minority leader currently, which Sami Gyamfi boldly stated, say, or extortionist, and he has a proof where even Afenyo eti Nkrumah, he will show it, and Afenyo cannot respond to that because unim said they all cannot no crane. It's a personal issue between them. Unim yenyantienso say minority kra mo ye concern say nka mo be hia no. In all these no, meaning saying na unim yera Afenyo efa, and of course this particular allegation no as a minority, how do you take it?
Mamincha Unianoma Studios near Wahafone telephone na. It is unfortunate on a morning when we should be discussing the single most colossal loss that Ghana has ever made since independence on a single commercial transaction. That is the loss of 22 billion Ghana cedis, 22 billion Ghana cedis on gold transactions, on the gold for reserves program. No, say sad discussion. No, they are not to say. And now what is being discussed is the allegations against the minority leader. But let me show you a pattern. In April 2026, me as part of my crusade on the losses that we are making on the gold for reserves program, maybe raise attention about Bank of Ghana for accounts or ma prepare. Na almost say you lose $900 million for the year 2025 in this gold for reserves component of the domestic gold purchase program. I want to say in December the year before, when I'm leading minority press conference, I'm a catcher. Say at the time, now loss, no, IMF say $214 million. By your calculation, they say a higher. By December, no, the Bank of Ghana or my account on publish it by March, which came out in April. No, I say I do 900. Me Bekaya, no. Me, I was attacked directly. So Bekaya, you are Gyamfi, Echo TV3, one-on-one interview. I will say, me economist, the American mentors here. Many accountant, the American mentors here. Many facts. Now I'm telling lies. When it was there in black and white in the Bank of Ghana account. Remember another one. I've not say sorry. A few weeks ago, or a video better about thing. Say, Gold Board has questions to answer about a Kana Ababeda Bank of Ghana, no? Because a Gold Board transactions, no, and a Kana Ababeda. Yes, you can see it's a Gold Board, they make a profit on more books, but they have questions to answer. Or press, or for a video new year, no, or more by attacking, Mr. Gyamfi, and any boys, or by attacking, say, I'm not a poor woman, or name the Oka on Tiasia to try man. Then a friend did this press conference on Monday with the few say, yes, Bank of Ghana books on a loss, no, but a Gold Board that has to answer for it because Gold Board, Jumedian, and did those losses number. Then he is now attacked that or extortionist. I do see a pattern here.
Yeah, but is it also not the grounds are Afenyo and a reference, no eco raising issue, referencing the IMF report and citing say a no case, which in fact it's not saying so directly.
I can come to that one.
Okay.
And I've just written it down. I'll come to that one. But do you see a pattern here?
Sure.
Pattern in there. Pattern here.
Sir, also as a okay any abe attack you so okay first ya be attack you and then abena say asare so be kan ya attack no and you feel like it's a pattern of when you see it you are being attacked.
That is the pattern.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you say in January this year, the motion by Parliament said, yenye inquiry into, at the time, the $214 million loss that the IMF had mentioned. Okay, this year.
Okay.
What did the majority do when the motion came on the floor in Parliament?
On the probe, no? Yeah, I learned that if I remember it correctly, Omukase Bank of Ghana explanations to that.
And the motion by what did the majority do? They blocked it. They voted no.
Okay, in the House of Parliament, yeah.
Yes. And Mama Maya rain fee. And this is for Namuji say Ghana forward free. So they get away with a lot of things. With the motion by say inquiry into it, the majority voted no. They blocked it. So there be investigation there. I didn't know say investigation. Because at the end of Moyen, from April 2025, they catch them say Edeka Beba. On the front, who catch Ghana for say, dollar $90 would the name of your butcher bar, she say, but on the back, who parke car, Ghana in the Babitia. Now, if you know, you no plan parke car, ma betono. By December now, numbers started by and probe, they blocked it. They say, then they attack you. The first point I'll make is this. Nobody should be distracted by this approach. Where company attack when now we are invited, say, you better discuss allegation against you or attack. No. And yes, that's a fact.
Okay.
Tell me you're attacking me.
Right.
Because they don't want us to focus on the real issue, which is the 22 billion Ghana CD loss on the gold for reserves component of the domestic gold purchase program. Since I started Century Jume, what is our loss way be that?
Mabubo Sukra, but this one is a bit higher.
It's huge. And any responsible democracy, any responsible democracy, we will be asking Parliament to do a full-scale inquiry. Any responsible democracy.
But what's your justification, no so that because of a nona, gold trade, no, any returns are in your free muska revenue buy, and then my economy, no, the dollar rate is not like before. I mean, omotimi policy rates near day and inflation and others above from near day. They are telling us and no normally and it's better to lose such an amount to sustain the economy, though that losses must not be maintained any day. Is it not in a way justifying the state of the economy?
I know your mom justification. Yes, so you have a view on it.
Okay.
Pakenu Sinchen. There's another area.
Okay.
I've consistently said that the loss is on the books of the Bank of Ghana. It be more further by saying, say, but a gold board, you may be in a losses number, so the gold board cannot extricate itself. Me see yenye inquiry no you bet me establish where exactly is the loss coming from? What is the component or the composition of the loss? Discount no a crazy loss I say you fees ni crazy loss optical fees no no crazy losses e ba ne say na you start kasa e loss no so 17% e be do be 9%. One ho na sa loss no benefit no koye. We can get into all of those matters. Loss is the Bank of Ghana or Gold Board. How do we correct it going forward? All these are things you will find in the inquiry. I don't know about inquiry. No? Then you focus on allegations against marking upon Nkrumah.
Right.
So upon Nkrumah BBA, you can deal with it. Abna BBA, you can deal with it. Mark BBA, you can deal with it. But that does not dissuade or distract from the 22 billion Ghana CD loss. But sure. I wouldn't be at 22 billion between me. Jesus Christ. 2025, I buy a catch say Waboka, at least through the Bank of Ghana, also Waboka $900 million on the gold trade. Or done in the about Parliament say, Yen Sankoji loan of $900 million a month from World Bank for roads, free SHS, and our finance ministry, and I raised in Parliament say, What Fiscal has it? And now you've come back for a loan. You know, I've been consistent, say more revenues, so Kakano or move blue. And people don't think that these are matters that can be inquired into. Let's do the inquiry. More justification.
But
let's make sure why that justification doesn't hold. Another example. Abuna Ebekatre will say, Waboka 15 billion cedis on open market operations. Ebekatre will say, so Castro said that is the cost of stability. I mean, you say, by the way, almost for account number parliament still.
As of now.
Almost wow. So the bar, you never go into it and these questions. But on my press conference, Becatro said that is the cost of stability. I know you're not agent. Maybe Becatro said the all cost of stability and your poor policy choices because.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Inflation, no, yeah, the fee 54, they do 18, no. Yeah, mocha 15 billion. Yeah, your friend is saying, right, yeah, the fee 54, they do 23, no. Yeah, mocha, sir. Wow, the fee 23, they do 3, no. One also waboka 15 billion. Now, your poor policy choices because send your home more poor and you didn't need to pay for it. Una utia and our boka. Inti reverse it will cost of more people. Now you achieve the same objective without making losses. Also, at Isamu Bidi at say later out say governor announce say we reverse it. Now they are not all correct why I see reverse it to what we were saying. Name another example. Tama governor or fund budget through the back door.
Yeah.
Your friend of monetary financing of the fiscals. Yeah, the catcher will say, I know you're part of the problem, you know. Losses now because of financing government through the back door or pentisicama by no. Almost a nyampa. A banner as you say, governor never announced a few weeks ago, say, to say what jai on your blue. Now they are not on your date in what jai. I didn't know to say what jai said. On financing government through the back door by pre-financing the domestic gold purchase transactions of the gold board. Now, to say gold board, you see, when we speak, any out of or time, then can be so my cousin make with you, mean pasada.
Yeah.
But when we speak and you say, Obe attack it, key issue, no discuss attack now. Then we all lose the focus.
But
nobody should be distracted.
Go back to the losses, no, which is most important as you are talking about. Now, Osha Bank of Ghana operations. I started even from 2021. Bra policy ye try say ye deba good for reserve in oil ni hon sense I start here but 2021 15 million. 2020, I'm talking about the losses. 2022, 9 million in their books. 2023, 120 million. 2024, $400 million. And then 2025, we went up to 22 billion. Bank of Ghana, ena ni trade modisike ko ebi ni support ya ka ho asema and comedy cost support to us wo reverse ya say Bank of Ghana disika ko hye bibi mu na oye whether trade or liquidity or anything na amaye boka. Because in 2022, we lost about 60 billion from the Bank of Ghana. When the Bank of Ghana's operation,
our question, no, and I'm happy because I'm Komo winning Komo and we see it. Maybe no try to distract you. Second, there were a lot of respect for the work you do.
Right.
But my question. The source of the data, no. Figures here, with great respect, my question because, and I'll tell you why. And you won't make question, source and make question. Because if you want the data, numbers be able system, you must have numbers linear no play.
But reference 2022, IMF grants could do that 400 million, the same thing.
When you say 400 million, it is not on the gold for reserves program.
Gold trade.
That 400 million a gold for oil.
Yeah.
Domestic gold purchase program, there were 3 components: gold for oil, gold for forex, the friend is saying gold for reserves. 3.
But I'm canning in as a gold trade losses. No, you're making a gold trade.
And no, make question source of data because we have a probable mistake. Let me explain. What they factoring in gold for oil, which was a temporary program from 2021. Ghana need dollars, but now we see it to me top oil by Ghana, so that generators, cars, electricity in Abayejuma. Until Dr. Baumia said, "Yeni cities, yen fento gold, yen tall gold, no." And no, in fact, in that one, Yeni city, yen fento gold, yen fa gold, nema commodity traders. The same commodity trader, no, also oil, or best send the oil cargo abre, so that we still get oil, even though we don't have forex. And yes, sir, if you do baby, not cars into me, petrol shortage, lights in your dundu. Intino, I will say yes, I do, which is a temporary program. Now you build a forex reserves now, we can now get dollars to buy. By the time I will bet to gold, maybe send about 3 months later, ship on but now price is not changing into the boca. And it was a temporary program. You make a loss of $400 million. But 2020, your friend is saying 2021, where Banabi do 2024. No. So under the gold for reserves program, loss near 0. But can you now bomb say gold transactions? I'll be casting 400. But also, what was the distinction? No?
Gold trade, no. Yeah, how can you now say gold trade? Gold won't get the idea.
Here's the point. Gold. Here's the point. So gold for reserves now you mboka in the past. Now and now boka 22 billion for gold for reserves. Who's a maker? I mean, you're very careful. Say, gold for reserves.
Gold for reserve. Yeah.
Of the domestic gold purchase program.
Sure.
I am moka and now boka no ye can. Who's in a so cross sometime been boka war
oil.
You get the difference.
Yeah, I get you.
In fact, no crime it is so almost say. Ghana Water Company loss.
I see I've your board chair that time, and they made unprecedented losses.
Let us not lose track of the issue.
Okay.
Gold for reserve program. First, let's carry him and I make us say, why I will question the data? I said, me deep Bank of Ghana accounts for the last 5 years. Me dine baba. You will have to show us where the loss is in the Bank of Ghana accounts. In NDC for ba bemu almost started boka mekano. And mama will be sure RTI request come our governor no. And our governor reply let's say if first no not losses crowd na the losses need to pay. Really? In the audited accounts are one case signing and one disclosing losses be. Then wa boka ne can. Wako yi Krata and said there was a loss. So that is why I questioned the data. Bounding BB, Minchim, you call an inquiry. What kind Article 103 in standing orders now? You this supreme document. Who supreme the document? Say, Mami 2024 accounts. Point to me, baby. Salos, guys, I've been say, governor. Say, show me where in the Bank of Ghana accounts you will find the loss on the gold for reserves. In 2024. And by the way, the 2024 accounts was signed by Governor Siama of the NDC. It was signed in March 2025. Show me in 2023. Show me in 2022. So, me say first, issue we say we are getting to the issue. Second, data no. Make question. I say in an inquiry, more now have an opportunity to go into the data.
Yeah.
That's my last point.
Okay.
Bank of Ghana Nejuma a monetary policy. Nejuma, in fact, the primary objective is price stability. Because in economic policy, the lecturer will say, no issue currency. So he has an obligation to protect the value of the currency. And until now, or you're responsible for price stability. Na currency na devalue. Monetary policy is his primary objective. And or involving in any precise fiscal expenditures. That is how economics is called. Precise fiscal expenditure. Because fiscal, they are to forcing fiscal policy manager. Now, no, sebi, or Jumaya, no matter back door. It's boom at the back door. Precise fiscal to support the budget, and they don't want to disclose because budget need the only member parliament. we be disclose revenue. Parliament be approve amount. But Oshene Nko ya now if you are Bank of Ghana, it's not Bank of Ghana Fiscal. Now let me show you something. Who in Ghana budget for 2025? 290 billion cedis. And no finance minister ebe katre and say obeye juma na we raise sika no dey boy ho akoma. The entire parliament go to budget and say finance minister be kire inquire obeye juma board ho model we raise sika no dey solve your problems and we obuy no 290 billion. Did you know say quietly on the backside or Bank of Ghana printed 133 billion emano to support quasi fiscal expenses. Where go? Where?
I haven't read the document though.
No, it's not in any document. That is why we are calling for the inquiry.
Yeah.
That is why we are calling for the inquiry.
Debbie.
That is why we are calling for the inquiry. Because I will catch your mind and say, yeah, budget. Yeah, budget, 290. Now, factory, Ekoma governor printed 45% of the budget, an additional 45% at the factory for quasi fiscal expenses. And no, she can't be a gold builder or medical gold. By the time I go, never back. Or maybe the full value of the 133 billion that was released. A shorted by 22 billion. That is the loss sitting on the Bank of Ghana's books. Because whilst it will not show up in the main budget, it will show up in the Bank of Ghana's books. But what did the Americans say?
Sure.
A whole 22 billion in a million American. A whole fee. So if we get bogged down in this debate, say gold board say on your loss. Maybe we say gold board, this Bank of Ghana, gold board, Bank of Ghana, and say cry so Nkrumah on your economist, on your accountant. I don't say crash and on say a friend or your extortionist. We get distracted from the 22 billion CD loss. But the call dollar more $1.7 billion.
Is it not also can say logical to say Bank of Ghana, that is why we have technocrats who are versed in economics, finance, and all that. Who say ye investment will be bimu ana ye tradia ye disika we kwa, we should expect this return and share the risk component ni be say into yen Bank of Ghana yen fanko. But say o de be corner dia koma wo agent na wadi djuma na wo no as a supervisor na say wo program na sha won nsa no wo ntumi anya effective monitoring na Nkrumah, do we leave them to blame the agent?
Makachro said, my interest is not blaming the agent or the principal. And me see anybody who gets bogged in a debate about blaming the principal or the agent is missing the point.
But
shareholder, no, your friend of Ghana, or institutions, Bako your Bank of Ghana, Bako your Gold Board. Ghana koye a budget of 290 billion. And no be disclosure on mining every year. And the Bank of Ghana, no, he's not participating in quasi fiscal expenses. The way any kodaya no. And a Bank of Ghana could share 133 billion at the ma abino to fund gold purchase through Gold Board. We ya the gold no come Bank of Ghana no. That's sikan be no kofa fee no. It's was shorted by 22 billion. Me say, don't get worried about a debate between Gold Board and our Bank of Ghana. Worry about the 22 billion loss that Ghana has suffered, because in the end, no, if we be the Ghanaian taxpayer, I go on himself to say, to create the Bank of Ghana is 96 billion cedis. In fact, we the bank specifically at 93 billion. We the bank as a group at 96 billion. Meaning, so you are aware.
No, I'm not aware now.
Okay. Because then we lose focus on the main matter. Sa 93 billion at the bank and 96 billion at the bank group. No. You will pay because a fiscal recapitalization LCA.
But some of these things, say almost at least if it's in the books. I think say another in the books you have to file RTI. I'll be to me to publicize the say I mean the citizens will also be aware.
Into two things. Me my babo until you come a whole press conference the screen be see parliament. Time my Bank of Ghana for account by no. Ebe me now screen so. They attacked me. Me the woman attacked him say me extortionist. But they attacked me personally say me economist, me accountant, they are making me say I'm telling lies. And so you the screen they see what point in natural Ghana for. You really say okay, no problem. Official copy of the Bank of Ghana account in accordance with section 58 of the Bank of Ghana Act, Minister, Federal Parliament. I want to catch now say as at a name no can say at to force in from my. Where are you going to get the official copy to even deal with?
Okay.
And then no me stress minimum central for CSOs, economist who mama yam focus it. We should be asking the finance minister say now then I won't for Bank of Ghana account no I can tell you why. But we should be asking him, I don't know if I also believe our parliament. Because Bank of Ghana say Oboka 900 million. IMF say Oboa 1.7 billion. Or the bar be the difference between the two.
Okay.
Okay. Then they come up with allegations against you.
Right.
Inti mesre baby Ghana kono ho. Omo running game bi ewo esoro ho. The bibi share nim say dollar ne gina. But the cost of dollar no miensa. In the first year 22 billion cedis are over bitia. Second cost no the environment the environment sacrifice it to get gold to generate this forex.
Right.
And the second cost. Apart from the 22, entire environment no who will claim more. Who this can be you? Say Sikano. Who dia go cry ebe borosa 22 billion no. The forest ni ensure ya say no. Number 3, your friend opportunity cost.
Right.
Your friend is saying, "Sa 22 billion and can two sa hin and keep it to me." See, at the 111 hin and kai to me every year. A human hin and kai bit me aboa ma ye create na wati for any adwuma wom. Nipa no tifi onye adwuma. We are wasan boka 22 billion a man say on bitia. And sana so far ma pompe over $18 billion of forex onto the market just to keep the dollar at 10. Now, our catch was $1 at 10. So, $18 billion, of course, is not expendable resources. But, in Kitumi call sovereign wealth fund more, who bet me leverage the unlucky resources, ama yede move Ghanaian economy forward. So, the cost of the game they are playing is huge. But on pesi ebeka wansem kapeno attack.
But say sana mo politicians ni nyina ekaba ne eka ho asem a eya na mo asori agina mo pesi ebeka eni ade because it's not with one government ye nyina yenso ntrofo, and we've seen how governments of the day react to losses or mine emeki, including more time you stand in even crackers inclusive Bank of Ghana and Famfas will be amre because they're making losses. Saying you go hunkranoa, you be we beki kabum maybe they are making billions losses in normal umudi. But you kapena politicians, any government of the day be defended. And I remember perfectly, maybe akwa margin basu yana meko honto kwapa was time on Machiko Bank of Ghana office. That was in 2022. Now almost 60 billion. I saw some of government appointees who defend this idea because put me show party colors. So is it not more politicians? Is it not the way to go?
That is why in the democracy, any politician for one most central for more academics, civil society organizations, into the politician in Betanasem. Okay, we are who central, and I know you guys do it very well at Insura. Who central, but we won't pick it. Say, you shed their opinion, okay, near the two way. a classroom and then classroom. Civil society for academics. Now, so be a be. So be a be not see a cassette, massa. To me, what 22 billion Ghana cedis in 1 year on a transaction. The Vienna year can what attacking call for a this issue. Nina. Maybe a food a fine be panel or personal problem. That's not an issue. Ghana has a more year can 22 billion. Mummy and with me cause of personal problem. But 22 billion as some year cannot. There was seeing any con because it has costs, it has environmental costs, it has environmental reclamation costs, it has opportunity costs, both for the 22 billion and then the forex reserves now. They are burning for this purpose. You see, Muminianum Central for Unianum was civil society, Unianum was academia. Would they allow the politicians to play their game? But that's why Mumuye referees. Ubi cho be tackle enya, one of the barben, was shown a yellow card, was shown a red card.
But I think, sir, we must also be interested in the proof and answer finding out whether that astonishing true. Say yes, we astonishing no. True and answer true because now they are standing in for accountability. Ojidemuse or shese obedi yen. Abai no de obeye de ope because omo na 2 mini kura omo but se obi obegina ye nam no call for accountability no ye de ade ato ne so so ye extortionist ananse wo obi a ohwehwa ase no wogye adamudi ana wogye bibi na ode eye ne ho yi a na e ma no kura ntimi mpia. I think that is a big accusation, a very big one. I say minority should be concerned. Says any people make allegation, and I say mobile finance, mobile sue, na me anya clarity. We need to know much into that. Say be bema mo ho sign say mo ye adwuma fine e wo mrahye bedwafi oni ba bia mo wo bia.
Your leader Eddie can say obesiu no. We don't have worries about that. Obesiu no. But that should not be allowed to distract from the 22 billion CD loss. Nema samoa me beka ya ombe attacking me say many economists, many accountants, me ditro, many facts. I've insisted my both figures in natural. I stand by it. This is what I'm going to prove me for. I'm not say sorry obeka ya mo say woman on tia seminar say na okay Kevin Kikane ade. What I'm going to prove it for.
Right.
Nipa na wa accusing no say on obey sue for it. So let's not get distracted by that. Let's keep an eye on the 22 billion.
Okay.
Kwame Nadu say he will sue him. Go ahead with that one. And the court will resolve that one. But Ghana, we shouldn't lose focus on the 22 billion.
Na yenshe hono. All right. You're up on Nkrumah. Bedasi abopay. Bedasi fa.
I was said that Saul studio ni nya break.
One view. Me who animpa. You just watch now. You just watch now. Okay.
But now me hear the update on the Supreme Court back and forth.
Yes, there was what your compromise on the trouble. I just say was it the way the part of everybody said was interested to go where the money went. It's something to go up and I said for my friend and I'm so close and I can't check something.
Come by, said good board, said why. And so maybe I had read it, and I just said a cow. A cacasia pie. We share International Monetary Fund reported by we say a canny bear 1.4 billion. About better man so from gold operations. Gold na the soft currency no cedi no. Any gold na the eto reserves no. So gold operations in ya. I'm say a car about better. Bear 1.4 billion.
7.5.
But you say
7.
1.7 billion. Just may 300 crore free so. Yes, kakesi pa. Gold board say sa kano. Enyo mu no mu de aba. It is enyo mu no de buy there. Na why na de buy? Because it says our gold operation see. A gold board. And a Bank of Ghana. And a Ministry of Finance. And omu this our gold the Jumei. It is a cabana gold board in your net the kind of buyer. Ne no why. Ebiane Bank of Ghana. Ebiane Ministry of Finance. A Canada will be a jar to himself. Intina ehu hia se ebehwehwem. Omo majuma no ekofa ekai bae. Nienti a eka no ebae. Se ka na bibi anka ye betimi avoid anaze yenti nka yentimi avoid. Ye ko ye nimi kwan ben na betimi edi sa go de dwuma ya. Ebema eka no enko baby a ekoi. Enti ehu hia pa se oman no NDC aban no betu anamo na yetimi anya independent body a ebehwe sa kai mu na no so konkoye we to ema we na we to money we because ye gina asese no ya hwe ska kese pa oman ye ohia mayo aho kire ewo man mu papa ah chese ema ye politicians kra no ye nuguase ema ye the way aho kire wo man mu inti se America sika 1.7 billion ashria. I see it in me shrim. Sene beya. Ye koye nimi. So sa go de juma me njin se beja say. Ye koye nimi e behwe kwanya e betimi aye go de juma gold board Bank of Ghana Ministry of Finance sene beya. Sky ye shri. Anu betimi abrasi amaye. Nti nana akesi ehu hia pa se ibesa hwehwe mu na okay we say na gold we see say as extortion na we say nana sa asem na kosofa sa ekei asem yera Sami Gyamfi na yera friends afenyo marking Emze na woche twa media. Sa ansemi ya na way too many way na way too many way. Asem na ahomte. Sa Sami yera Sami Gyamfi. Ona akofa asemi aba se yera afenyo marking no. Kasa na oka efa ekano ni go board ho no omo ngentum na mo ngentum a mo kasa mo ngentum na afede okokofa kodu opanyin za na kan kwadu kofa kwadu se onipa na oka asem no oye extortionist no be chairman so say Oshe a ye di G sika na bibi fi obi ho. Opanyin
kan wana apobo.
Oh, apobo. And extortion.
No.
That's a poor fraud.
No. Odi ne din kwamboni bi so agisika afri nkofo.
No, apobo they say fraud. But extortion just say what they what they share.
And only a pool. Fraud cry they say can you be say you don't even have physical interaction with the person but you can defraud.
Defraud you can't say dream.
Dream. Why dream?
Oh, fraud a dream. Into where a pool. Okay. Yo. Okay. Enti
o can I do some.
Okay, so no pay what's na make be ma. Na okasi sre.
Na kumia.
Na okasi.
Baba.
Omano insem ne ken yo. Enti say opinion to say minority leader. No see o. ɛkwan a yɛde ɔman ne sika no ɛfa so wɔ saa adwumadie ho yi ɛnkɔ yie yɛhu IMF report a ɛka sɛ kwan a yɛfa so di saa adwuma wei no ɛka aba na minority da no de to dwa na sɛ ɔbɔ ekuo bi din sɛ mo kwan a mofa so yɛ saa adwuma no ade ɛka yɛ aba na sɛ saa ekuo no mo nso mo gye di sɛ o dabi ɛnyɛ mo adwuma na ɛde ɛka na ba sɛ no ane sɛ mo nso mo aba bi kyerɛ mu sɛ o dabi yɛn adwuma no sei na te ɛnyɛ yɛn so ɛna ɛka no baeɛ na wosan kɔ so kɔka sɛ onipa na ɔpanyin na ɛka sɛ adenti na ɛka yɛ aba na yɛn hwehwɛ mu na ɛyɛ o na wode wokɔka sɛ ɔyɛ ɔbɔ a ɔyɛ obi ɔbɔ apo yɛka sɛ
Opoboni.
ɔyɛ opoboni a na no so firi hifa na na ɔkɛse efiri hifa sɛ yɛte studio ha yɛdi nkɔpɔ yi na minua Kofi Bente aka biribi ɔde ato NPP foɔ so anaasɛ ɔde ato meme so na ɛnyɛ saa na ɛte a sɛ no ane sɛ makyerɛkyerɛ mu anaa nana a ɛnyɛ saa mɛka sɛ ominua Kofi wati asɛm a wokan nyɛ sei na ɛte sei na ɛte na mekɔka sɛ Kofi koraa asɛm a wokan woyɛ apo bonia na ɛno nso yɛ dan wahu ɛno dan menti aseɛ ɛfiri na ɛno nso ba asɛm no minority da no ɔse ɛka de nya agye atom ɔse ɛyɛ gold board sɛ ɛnyɛ gold board a kyɛw ɛnyɛ dabi nyɛ yɛn nti monkɔhwɛ baabi foforɔ na wode saa nuyie no ba na afei wokɔka sɛ papa no ɛka saa asɛm no na ɔno amu na ɔyɛ apoobonia na na wote aseɛ nti sami Gyamfi yi asɛm ano wayi ano kama wo sɛ ɛnyɛ mo yɛn kɔnkɔhwɛ Bank of Ghana na mo de mo dwuma no yɛ sɛ na mo yɛ no nyɛ mo dwuma no de kaba wayi ano fine
Asɛm de na asɛm kɔ.
ɛno ano no na afei bebi foforɔ ɛkɔ akɔhwɛ de nya akɔ akɔhwɛ
Okay.
na wokɔ san ɛkɔka sɛ na ɔyɛ apoboni ɛyɛ dɛn
na nso taa ponkyerɛni a ɔbɛgye wɔ
sɛ Kofi Bente sɛ sɛ dɛ na obiara bɛdi obiara atɛ no aka sɛ nso ataa no ana ɔbɛyi ɛna sɛ wotie o glass yɛ wokasa ne ma yi glass na ahwe fam na maka sɛ wɔyi the glass na to the case no ɛna na akɛse sɛ ɛkɔ no saa deɛ a ɛna Kofi wokɔka sɛ bi na mengye nti mene onyadwa ne ma yi glass yɛ ahwe fam na maka kyerɛ sɛ nso ataa me nti Kofi dabi ntwa yi but sɛna mekɛn asɛm yi aba na abranteɛ mefɛn sɛ Sami Gyamfi na wohwɛ a asɛ ɔpɛ saa nneɛma yɛtwa bɔ nipa so paa asɛ wohwɛ ne kasaeɛ over the period na wotumi hu pattern bi hwɛ Sami Gyamfi time ano ɔwɔ opposition sɛ Bank of Ghana almost ɔmo yie free 2022 Ghana call COVID ba yɛ ne Ukraine war ba yɛ ma ahokyerɛ so nkron bi ba 2022 ma Bank of Ghana yɛde saa debt DDEP debt restructuring I say
domestic debt restructuring
domestic debt restructuring by ahokyerɛ so nkron by banks ni nyina obi ahokyerɛ no ankra Ghana for kra ahokyerɛ no betre omo ema Bank of Ghana boka Sami Gyamfi catch Ghana for say and I quote no also for the first time in the history of Ghana the Bank of Ghana has lost 60.8 billion. Also for the first time, Bank Aboka. Na sa kanak Bank of Ghana abon. Ghana ya shris kanu. I'll say a call waste. Enti sa mrenu so Ghana Bank of Ghana ebo kanu. Say nya yeni na de kanu buy. 2022 cry COVID ni Ukraine war ye buy ya yenya baby en fe ya NSF Bank of Ghana beso abansi We see a waste. Na Oba Bemui. Sami Gyamfi na Oba Bemui. Oka about Bank of Ghana. Na say so mo report by so mo kan losses on my. So okay. The same Sami Gyamfi no. Or see. The losses of Bank of Ghana, are they really losses? Well, to the accountants, they are losses. That is why the IMF calls them accounting losses. But an accounting loss is not an economic loss. The same in Nipano. Or what position? Bank of Ghana Boka. I say, hey, they didn't see that. You're man a Fiscal. Men no cry the party, meaning sana kwa a coffee bank can walk for ye who near my demonstration and can't count. I'm saying sana Bank of Ghana best so a buyer saying Bank of Ghana ni who quite my card buy a bank or money who quite yeah the whole demonstration. No, no, sana Nkrumah. The same Nipan. After I'm no bar Bemwa Bank of Ghana still on Juman a car bemud. I see oh. Bank of Ghana losses, accounting losses, and yet economic loss. Just a man on Boka, the same person. Okache Ghana for say Yera Akufo-Addo, President Samren, Wakoji bribe Emo Ama Obi post. So okay, and now I say Akufo-Addo Wakoji $40,000. Ama Obi position. No, okay, so okay.
Kindly across 40,000. Why you on honor?
I see, but I can say Akufo-Addo Akwaji bribe 40,000. Ama Obi position. Now, since Akufo-Addo feels said no can nyampa, Akufo-Addo didn't chinomoko no gopo. Meboa. Ogusu can say. Mami Samira Baumia. So two kwanya. Okuta ba kwano ni makeup kwan de wo. But then look at the later no be patch of say watwe sign. Na asem o kan nya no kwai. Na u be kan same see afa nipa ho on checking make sure say u njina so papa. Na mami se no di ni hu ni na koka se no ka ba kwa makeup kwan wo. Okay, say Papa Baumia and Casacra, Hoptel Company, any there. Angela Sobia, Enis. Just say electricity. Scale now, train a big echo Baumia bottom. So, what it is answer, Nana, okay.
Endemity.
As our accounting firm from KPMG. Some no more sir rehwehwemu a banks are buying banks ni be buying restructuring. KPMG na rehwehwemu omu di mu akotene rehwehwemu no. Yera Sami Gyamfi ka say KPMG no. Omu nheda nya adwuma papa. Accounting firm papa. Na omu asheda na omu the reporter ba ebe gu banks adwuma. And Chebia na KPMG call another report. Say SMBL assemble. Sami Gyamfi say KPMG. In fact, we are seeing only the most credible accounting firm. The same person. The same Nkrumah Sami Gyamfi. KPMG reports were banking also on rampe. Or say KPMG omunye juma papa. Omunye juma papa na oma shada na oma bomb triple no mo report e be go banks mo. Omo kwa report be on SML na no na Sami Gyamfi. O say KPMG juma omo di mu pa. In fact, is the best auditing firm in the world. Yera Martina Midui. So koka sembia. Okoka sembi na Sami Gyamfi ni anje o se NDC fo ni anje ho. Hwe no ka fa Martina Midui. Sami Gyamfi. I say Martinami do no onye credible. On cano quarry. You can't rely on Martinamidu's word. And a Martinamidu kokan bibi himself in a Sami Gyamfi de kakra. That's more council. They say Martinamidu. I'll say one thing you cannot take away from that man, that Martinamidu, he is not corrupt. He is not a thief. He speaks the truth. The same Martinamidu. The same Martinamidu, no.
Mother serpent, no.
But you say
Mother serpent, no.
Okoka mother serpent, no. Sami Gyamfi say one thing you cannot take from Martinamidu say, Papa no, onye corrupt. Oka no quarry. Onye comfort. Oyobia ni bibia edimu. And so Okoka, okay, so Okoye report to be about government official one bina. Okay.
No ASP.
Yeah. No, Sami Gyamfi say Martinamidu onka no quarry. Onka no quarry kra onye credible. Untimi njina no ne kasa so. The same person against the same Martinamidu. Inti P wa ha but mred inti P inti Sami Gyamfi no I saw Tony book because I said Okasa on both sides of his mouth. So the latest one is Apo Boy or the Akoto minority leader suite. So Obo Apo. Me who sena Apo Boy efa ekana ban. But waka. But nana akesi. Share ene maybe ebe free san same ya Sami Gyamfi aka mpese ususu hu nana ya. Public institution. To say gold board. So mostly afenyo marking. Abe bomo apo and wabe extort money from you. I see a team beside who say. Then to the chief executive officer of a state enterprise. One man who penny say obi emebo apo. Obi emebo on training. Because what kind of extortion is that? It involves threat. Say threat and training. Aha. Internet maker say extortion it goes beyond fraud.
There was a fraud there. I can't say
no, sorry.
No, fraud there broad.
fraud there.
It goes beyond the Apple bottle. Because one what kind of extortion? She said Nanaya. Like black, it's more like blackmail.
Apple.
Okay.